Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, the latest news surrounding schools and daycares during the pandemic. UK basketball releases a Black Lives Matter video, and Vince Merrill calls out the preseason pollsters. All that and more is next on Hey Kentucky. Welcome to Hey Kentucky with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer. And Keith, we're going to get to it in a minute, but no huge surprises with the Derby field or the odds. Two super heavy favorites.
Yeah, I think the only thing that really surprised me, and we'll again talk about it more, is that there were so many long shots. But there was a reason for that.
Yeah, you could make some money if one of those wins, but I doubt it. All right, let's begin though with the latest on the pandemic. The state is easing rules on child care centers. The facilities will be allowed to have larger classes and have relaxed rules on visits, and they will receive some financial help as providers are viewed as increasingly important in allowing parents to return to work and school. Meanwhile, Governor Beshear has updated Healthy at School guidance to say students and staff should wear masks at all times while they are in school, even if they are at least 6 feet apart. And the governor also revealed that an increase of calls and texts to Kentucky's problem gambling helpline suggests the pandemic is intensifying gambling addictions. Keith, first of all, good news for the daycares, because I know they've been struggling and they are really a lifeblood in getting us back to work, back to school, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, think about there's a lot of people out there that were relying on that, like you said, to get back to work, to just be able to do that. And so it seems like things are going well, so I'm glad they're opening it back up just a little bit more.
Yes, me too. All right, now to the Breonna Taylor case in Louisville. A prosecutor is denying that Taylor's ex-boyfriend was offered a plea bargain last month if he would say that she was a member of his organized crime syndicate. The prosecutor says the July 13th offer, in which Jamarcus Glover would acknowledge that he and several co-defendants, including Taylor, were involved in drug dealing, was only a draft as part of negotiations with Glover. The lawyers for Taylor's family say it shows just how far authorities would go to tarnish Taylor's image. Glover has already said Taylor had nothing to do with selling drugs. Keith, when this first came out, it was shocking to me. I'm obviously there's going to be some back and forth on exactly what happened, but he turned down the plea offer, whatever it was that was offered to him.
Yeah, well, that wasn't in the final plea that was offered to him. That's why there is so much to unpack in this. We don't have time in whatever time, wherever that clock is that is counting us down, to go through it all. But certainly I hope that, all of these agencies that are looking into it, including Daniel Cameron's offices, are finding out exactly what was going on, and we'll find out from both sides exactly what happened and not just hearsay.
Exactly. All right, only days after the Kentucky football team took a stand against racial injustice, the men's basketball team is doing the same thing. Last night, they posted a video on social media featuring all of the student athletes on the roster and head coach John Calipari.
The time for change is now.
We've watched for too long now, as our mothers, our fathers,
our brothers and our sisters have been profiled,
undiscriminated, and even beaten, shot, and killed.
The victims of police brutality with no justice.
I am tired.
I am tired.
We are tired
of watching the wrongful actions of a few
and the acceptance of systemic racism.
And we can no longer be quiet.
In the clip, each player condemns the systemic racism that has been ravaging the country, specifically mentioning the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, along with several others by police. The players also call on BBN for support, and they say they have their own personal experiences with racism and prejudice. And Keith, while I just applaud this, I definitely saw some fans who would have thought this was the first time they'd ever heard of racism or black men being targets of anything, and they definitely didn't want to hear it from their basketball players.
It certainly seems like it's going to be really easy to get a seat in Rupp Arena whenever it is able to go full capacity. From some of the comments that you heard, I'm done with this team, I'm not listening to them anymore, it was very disappointing to hear from True Blue fans, because we know there has to be, hopefully that was the majority, or I'm sorry, the minority that was speaking that way, and the majority is getting behind this team and doing everything they can to make a change in this country, make a change in this city, this state.
I think it was. It was just surprising to me how I felt so much positivity around when the football team did it, And then it just seemed to be more negativity when the basketball team did it, which I didn't quite
Yeah,
understand.
very true.